What is up YouTube? It's Musy, back again with another crazy video. Today we're going to be looking at what makes Five Nights at Freddy's 1 so terrifying. Make sure to smash that like button and subscribe.
Hello everybody, my name is Markiplier.
Five Nights at Freddy's is an indie horror game released by Scott Cawthon on the 18th of August 2014. The player plays as Mike Schmidt, a night security guard who has to observe the animatronics of the family diner Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. However, it turns out that during the night these animatronics have the ability to move around. The game was very simple, but it managed to get the attention of many popular YouTubers at the time.
No!
Whether this was because of the over-the-top jump-scare reactions or not, it was clear that Five Nights at Freddy's was becoming huge. But what actually made this game scary? I've been thinking about this a lot lately, and I think I've figured out why. This is what makes Five Nights at Freddy's 1 so scary. When first booting up the game, you are greeted with the main menu filled with noise, covering up the animatronic Freddy Fazbear. The background image constantly shifts and moves, even entirely removing his mask in one instance. There is also a constant buzz in the background, reminiscent of an old VHS tape. All of this instantly creeps out the player, as they are thrown right into the darkness. When the player clicks the new game button, they're presented with a newspaper article. It reads, "Help wanted. Family pizzeria looking for security guard to work the night shift, 12 AM to 6 AM. Monitor cameras, ensure safety of equipment and animatronic characters. Not responsible for injury/dismemberment." Not only is this information confusing to the player, it's all they are given before immediately being thrown into the game. 12 AM, first night. You are now stuck in this small, dusty room for the rest of the game. There are posters promoting the pizzeria, along with many screens used for monitoring the restaurant. The most prominent part of this room is the desk fan. This fan stays on for the entire game, constantly making a loud buzzing noise. This makes it very difficult for the player to focus. Before you can properly react to your surroundings, the phone rings. This is the only human voice we hear in the game, and is the only thing the player has to guide them. This man's voice is the tutorial. No practicing controls, no introductions, just the confusing and somewhat deceitful information from this phone call. The man informs the player that there is nothing to worry about, as long as they can follow the instructions. He says that the animatronic characters, Freddy, Chica, Bonnie, and Foxy, will wander around the restaurant. He also mentions the bite of 87, which is irrelevant at this point. Apparently the animatronics will not see the player as a real person, but a metal endoskeleton without its costume on. Since that's against the rules at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, they will forcefully stuff said person into an animatronic suit filled with deadly wire and metal. The player is reminded to only close the doors when absolutely necessary, as they have a limited amount of power. Whether any of this information is true or not isn't important to the player, as it's the only thing they are really given. Confusion is a main factor in FNAF's horror. The first night is very easy, as the animatronics don't move much. However, as the nights go on, they get increasingly more active. As you play, you learn how to effectively monitor and protect yourself from the animatronics, such as needing to check if Foxy has left Pirate Cove, or listening for Chica in the kitchen. As you learn, the game gets harder. That's how it keeps you scared. But Musy, you might ask. The game is literally just one picture that you scroll across. How can it be scary? Well, that's because the biggest factor of horror in this game is the sound. When playing this game, you are fully immersed in the audio. The constant buzz of the fan makes it difficult to hear footsteps, meaning you are constantly listening in. The continuous anticipation of a jump scare happening at any moment keeps you on the edge of your seat, while you have to keep juggling your different tasks. This is why a lot of people who watch FNAF gameplay on YouTube say the game isn't even scary. When you're playing, there isn't any voice in the background. Markiplier can no longer protect you. All you have is that fan. And then, if you run out of power, this happens. Total silence. Something that if you're experiencing for the first time, completely catches you off guard. Then, you look to your left and you hear a faint music box, along with Freddy's glowing face piercing through the darkness. This lasts for a little while until the This darkness lasts for a lot longer than you'd assume, making the anticipation so much more intense. I recently played this game on my Twitch stream, and I forgot how scary it really was when you have no idea what you're doing. This game gets a lot of bad rep for some reason, but the games are actually very well made considering they were mostly made by just one person. Scott recently announced that he was retiring from making games, which is sad to see as he's made such a huge franchise. I hope the people he gives control of the future games can live up to what he created. So in conclusion, FNaF very scary game, Markiplier is Purple Guy, and Freddy is Super Mario. Thanks for watching all the way through. I got tons of kind comments on my previous commentary, and that's motivated me to do more. I hope you enjoyed this one too. If you did, please consider liking the video, as it helps me a ton. If you want to see more from me, click the subscribe button, and turn on notifications, as YouTube sometimes doesn't tell you when I upload. And, as always,